Hi, Chef Dewayne here from MealPro. Today we're going to be making a vegan polenta. This traditional creamy Italian dish is great to serve with stews, ragouts, or with fresh vegetables. You want to start with a pot of boiling water. There's 4 cups exactly of water in here. To that we're going to add 1 cup of our cornmeal. When you do this, you want to make sure that you slowly add it. Do not dump it in all at once. It will clump if you do so, and you'll end up with lumps in your recipe, and you don't want to do that. So make sure you slowly add it. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt. And we're going to stir that around immediately. Once the cornmeal is completely incorporated, you want to reduce your heat to low, and you want to bring this down to a simmer. You don't want a rapid boil. You want to continue allowing this to cook for approximately 25 to 30 minutes. But you want to make sure that you're stirring it regularly. If you don't, you're going to end up with clumps. Now, as you're doing this, you're going to see large clumps of steam coming up from the bottom of the pot and escaping. That's okay, don't worry about it. Just make sure that you have a pot large enough so it doesn't come over the sides. And continue stirring. Again, the total cook time for this dish is going to be about 30 minutes. So as we're stirring this and as we're waiting for this to cook, there's a few things I'd like to point out about polenta. One, it's completely gluten-free, naturally. Just no gluten occurs when you create polenta. There's no wheat flour involved anywhere. So this is great for celiac disease or if you have gluten sensitivities. This also has about 2 grams of protein per cup. So for every cup of polenta that you eat, there's 2 grams of protein in it. So it's a good substitute for proteins in a vegan diet. So while we're waiting for this to cook, we're going to make a little something to throw on top of it. I've just gathered some tomatoes and a little bit of sweet yellow pepper that I had on hand. You can use canned tomatoes, you can use anything you got around really. What we're going for is the polenta is so rich and creamy, sometimes adding a little bit of acid to the dish is a nice complement for it. So we're just going to take these tomatoes and pepper, and we're going to add a little bit of balsamic vinegar to it. Stir that around. And some herbs. Today we're using oregano, basil, parsley. Again, whatever you have on hand, just sort of stir that around. We're just going to let that sit while this finishes cooking. You'll also notice the bubbles are starting to get thicker and slower in the polenta. It's getting near to completion. So keep stirring, make sure to get the bottom of the pan completely covering the sides too so that it doesn't stick. Now, if you can see when I stir this pot, it no longer rushes back to the outside edge like water does, you know. It actually is really kind of thick, and it sort of spreads slowly back towards the edge of the pot. It means we're almost done, not quite, just a little bit more. So as you can see, the polenta is now much thicker. When I stir it, it doesn't rush back to the sides of the pan. So we're going to turn our heat off now. We'll move this to the side. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil to our polenta instead of Parmesan cheese or butter. We're going to use a little bit of olive oil. Stir that in. Our polenta is now ready to serve. So we're going to take this, plate it up. And then we're going to take a little bit of our tomato and balsamic, spoon that right over the top, like so. Again, the acid in the balsamic is a great complement to the rich, creamy flavor of the polenta. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe.